Hello, everyone. Good to see you tonight. We got a showdown coming in Cleveland, don't we? The first presidential debate. And I am here live with you for all of it. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Trish Regan. It's good to see you here. We got two candidates head to head here, both, I should add, facing allegations of tax dodging or massaging, while Joe Biden is looking at allegations of impropriety surrounding his son's reported payouts to the tune of millions of dollars. I think it's really interesting how you get a gig, right, on the board of an energy company over in the Ukraine when you don't know anything about the energy company or the energy business for that matter. Or how about these reports that the former mayor of Moscow paid Hunter Biden $3.5 million through his wife? I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff that needs to get answered tonight. So I'm really hoping Chris Wallace asks these questions. One can certainly expect a lot of questions coming forward about the country's handling of coronavirus, much of that directed at President Trump. Meanwhile, not helping the left tonight, we have a late breaking story to tell you about. Intelligence professionals reportedly knew that Hillary Clinton's team was ginning up the whole Russia thing just to help her. So I would ask, why should we think that this is anything different this time around? Why should we think this is anything other than politics when the left is talking about how they believe, and by the way, this is a direct quote, Joe Biden actually said to Trevor Noah just a few weeks ago, he said, I believe that the president will try and steal the election. And then you had Hillary Clinton going on TV with her former campaign communications director saying that she thought Donald Trump should not concede, forgive me, Joe Biden should not concede no matter what. I mean, how are we to interpret any of this, which seems very Banana Republic-like to me? That's for sure, and I've spent a lot of time covering some of those Banana Republics. It's good to see you all. I'm just reading some of your messages. It's good for you all to be here as well, and I love this that we can communicate. I'm really curious to hear what you're thinking in terms of what questions should be asked. I can tell you what I want to see. And by the way, I'm saying this from a perspective of somebody who has anchored two presidential debates, two Republican presidential debates. And I know how much, of course, goes into all of this. It's a stressful event, certainly for the organization, in this case, Fox putting it on. And for Chris Wallace, he's going to be held very accountable in terms of what questions he asks and what questions he doesn't ask. Right? But there's only so much time, and there's been a lot of negotiation back and forth. Sources tell me that there's been some chatter about, how long the breaks are. Biden apparently wants some longer breaks. The Trump camp saying, they don't need that kind of length, but we'll see how it all shakes out this evening. But it's a lot of stress on behalf of the organization, and in terms of the anchor, or in this case, the debate moderator himself, you want to make sure that you get everything in there, right? And to me, the most important things right now are just exactly what was going on between Hunter Biden and all these oligarchs, right? I need to know the answer to that question. And I'd also like to know why they feel as though it's so important to really frankly undermine the strength of our democracy when they come out there and they say that Donald Trump is going to steal this election. I mean, I'll never forget, I nearly fell off my chair when she said that. I actually nearly fell off my chair, and I went back and I replayed the sound, and then I replayed the sound again, because when I heard Hillary Clinton say that Joe Biden should not concede no matter what, and that he should make sure he has a great legal team, he, by the way, does. Apparently 600 lawyers are already on the payroll. I thought, wow, here we go. I have never in my life been so concerned about the direction of our country and been so concerned that our entire system that we put all this faith in could be undermined. But now, given what we know, that Hillary Clinton's team apparently was ginning up this whole Russia thing way back when, Russia, to help her, what exactly is she pulling now? I think this has to come into the conversation tonight because it is very dangerous the way they are threatening our democracy. Now, granted, Donald Trump was asked about it. What the heck is he supposed to say? On the one hand, I wish he would have said, look, so long as everything is fair, I will do whatever's needed in terms of stepping down, etc. Because I think you can flip it right back on them. They are the ones that started this. Do not forget that. They are the ones that brought up the whole idea that he was stealing the election as though he's breaking into Diebold voting machines and changing the votes, or as though Russia did that. Come on. And now we learn that she and her team had a hand in ginning up that crisis. Good, again, to see you all. Darren, you have zero faith that conservatives will ever see indictments for anyone having anything to do with Biden or Obama. Very sad. Listen, I hear you. I mean, there's chatter now that Durham's team is not going to come forward with anything before the election. And I think that's really discouraging because we need fairness in the system and we need the system to work. Again, this is what we pin our entire faith in our government on, right? The idea that a single person has a single vote and that vote will not get compromised no matter what. And yet now we have multiple instances of possible voter fraud. I mean, you look at what happened just recently in Wisconsin. You look at what happened in Pennsylvania. For goodness sakes, in Pennsylvania, you were talking about military members' votes, people that are giving up potentially their lives for our country, and they're not going to get a fair shot at having a vote. 9 votes were found in a ditch. 9 ballots. That is not right. And then, of course, you saw in Wisconsin, right by the side of the highway, they found three trays of ballots. And now we've got this report out of Project Veritas, which is being disputed by some of those involved, but nonetheless, Project Veritas touting this report that they did where they found that votes were being effectively sold, right? They could buy these ballots, and in some cases, they weren't even buying them. In some cases, they were intimidating people, the elderly, allegedly, and some of the poor people in some of these housing communities, they were allegedly intimidating them into turning over the ballots. It was called ballot harvesting. I mean, if that's the case, then really and truly we have a problem here. And some of this has to come up tonight. The other thing that has to come up tonight is just exactly what is Joe Biden's plan for our economy. I would hold Trump to this as well. Now, I tend to have a very capitalist view of our economy, and I look at it right now and I'm thinking, what the heck is the alternative? It's socialism with Joe Biden. That's not good, right? But anyway, we need to make sure that we're not spending too much. We need to make sure that the right policies are in place to put us back to work. I mean, right now, Anthony Fauci is all worked up because Governor DeSantis down in Florida is going to open up the state, allowing full capacity at restaurants and bars. And that has the scientists worried. I'm sorry, but the scientists are not the be-all, end-all. Okay, when it comes to coronavirus, they're very important. But so are the economists. And so are the mental health experts. And by the way, so are the individuals. Thank you very much. Where I grew up, we have a phrase, live free or die, and it's on every single license plate. There's new meaning to it, I suppose, right now. Literally, live free or die. But you know what? That's really important because our freedom, our individual choice, whether or not we decide to go to that restaurant in Florida, that should be up to us. And by the way, the restaurant owner, if they want business, they're not going to cram people in because who wants to go there if you're all crammed in? But that's having respect for the individual here. And you need to respect the individual if you want a prosperous economy. So I think coronavirus has to come up within an economic context as well. In terms of economics, I mean, listen, I think it's just, with the policies that Joe Biden has proposed, it's effectively game over for our economy. If we get into a situation where we're just taxing the heck out of everybody that we can, and we're redistributing wealth, and we're allowing Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and all of their cronies to decide what to do with our hard-earned money, well, then we've got real problems, don't we? Okay, so that's one side of this equation. The other side and we have to be careful of this, is that we run the risk of too much spending, right? I mean, at what point are we going to have to pay all this back? You get the Fed out there printing money, you get the government handing out all kinds of checks. Look, I get it. People need it right now. It's a really, really tough time. But simultaneously, we need to think about a plan to get this debt and deficit load level down, right? So these are the questions I want to hear. I think Chris Wallace has to be really tough tonight. There's a lot riding on this. The entire country is tuning in. And do not underestimate people, either one of these guys, right? It would be a mistake for Donald Trump to underestimate the debating skills of Joe Biden and vice versa. Joe Biden should not underestimate Donald Trump. I am going to be watching it all night. I hope you are too. We can talk about it. Don't go anywhere, anyone, because as soon as there is a break, I'm going to be back with you. I'm going to give you my analysis of all of it. I'm going to give you my analysis of what I think of the questions, how I think they're doing, and I want to hear from you. So stay tuned. I can see all your comments right here. Keep them coming, and we're going to continue this conversation because it is going to be a good one tonight there in Cleveland. I'm looking forward to it. I think you are too. Let's see how this all goes. I'll see you in a little bit.